Well, yeah, it's the most important thing. You just said it then. You know, we came away with a win. It's the most important thing. Was involved in a lot as well, as you said, but I'm happy that we won.
So tell us about the block from Cole Palmer. Did you think you're in trouble? Like, as he shapes the shoot, it looks like he's getting it away.
We know how important he is for the whole their team. You know how many goals he scores and then his assist as well. So you know, I had it in my mind to, you know, if I can keep Cole quiet, then it's a huge part of their game gone. But yeah, I see in the air he was a little bit free, and I knew it was on me. So yeah, I done a little bit of a slide, and he still had the ball. And then I thought, yeah, I'll put my foot there, and we just hope.
The box winning a penalty.
Yeah, was that the one when it was an actual penalty?
The actual penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I played the ball and then I made a run and then it hit me back and it was just there. So
feel pretty clear to you?
I mean, I never dive.
I'm not suggesting you do.
I felt it contact and stuff, so I went down. It was a penalty. Yeah.
Big part of the job under this manager, probably under the old one as well, to get up and down, to be in both boxes.
Yeah, 100%. For a player who wants to play in this team, you've got to run, you've got to have energy, you've got to be all over the pitch. You know, you've got to help with the goals, with the assists, and if you're in the centre mid, you know, you've got to go and press, you've got to get back, you've got to help out. And that's what I try and do. And
I did forget something, because with the second penalty, the one that got overturned, it's a hell of a forward roll.
Yeah, I mean, I told the lads that, I said,
lovely
I've just done a flip, but I've actually got to sort of whack a little bit, but like feel any sort of trips, anything like that. I know that he came and, you know, we collided and stuff, but I don't know, I've not seen it back, so I can't really save him, honestly.
Okay, so then you burst into the box. Chelsea have just equalised a couple of minutes later. First thought, you just think it's getting away from you, and then you just get that a little bit of your right foot on it?
Yeah, you know, there's been times, you know, when I've arrived in the box, it's always been a first time one. You know, there was one against Leicester where, you know, I came in at the back post, and then there was one against Spurs as well. And as soon as Mo had the ball, I've made the run, and I thought it was going to come, and it did. But it kind of like bounced as well, so I thought I've got to have a touch, it's got to be perfect touch. And I was fortunate enough, you know, it was in my path, and I got the goal.
And I see from this, and I know the new managers slightly changed things in that you don't sleep in the hotel the night before games now, you stay at home. I'm guessing it was a spare room last night.
Yeah, for sure. I was in a spare room. I mean, but at the same time, you know, she's a little dream as well. You know, she's just away. She just wants to feed and change it, and then she's back asleep. So you know, I could have stayed in the main room. I would have been fine, but I just thought, you know, it's wise that I stay in the spare room, and yeah. I was wide awake and I had energy.
I tell you what, you're making the rest of us look bad. Dads shouldn't have that much energy, especially new ones.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Be together, and then he gets the Player of the Match award, scores the winning goal against Chelsea, and you can see he's just floating at the moment, isn't he?
He is. He called Pat lad.
Yeah.
That's is it
lad or lad?
A bit of both. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the big terminology we use in the city. So it shows that they get on well. But he was brilliant. He was outstanding, and he's still at that stage where he's still not ever really made himself first choice, where he knows he's playing. You've got McAllister and Gravenberch who are outstanding, so it's going to be tough for him. But I mean, what a performance that was! And you think of the quality on the pitch, you think of the money that's been spent on the pitch, and for a local lad to put a performance in like that was outstanding.
What does he need to do to get a role in this team, week in, week out?
I think he's got to keep playing like that, you know, at the highest level. He's up again, got a little bit training with him and playing with him.
Yeah, played with him for a year or 2 years when he first came into the first team. And he's always had the ability, always. It was a case of, can he bring it all together? Can he develop into becoming a top-class centre midfielder? And right now, the things he's doing, the confidence he's playing with, he's gained experience over the years. He came into probably 4 or 5 seasons ago, and now you look at him now, how he's even speaking. You can see he's grown up a lot. And technically, he kept Cole Palmer quiet today as well, which is, you know, we gave Cole Palmer the talk today, but you see flicks around the corners, balls in behind, like he's got the lot. It was the defensive side of the game that was the concern, and with a manager like Jurgen Klopp, the onus was on the midfielders to run around and press. You see with Arne Slot now, he's coming and he said, you know what, I'm going to put you in a number 10, like against Crystal Palace, he was playing number 10. This week, OK, we're going to have you on the left, you're going to go up against your former under-21s teammate, you know, you got familiarity there, you kept him quiet today, so you're seeing him now, the confidence he's playing with. Top draw.
I think what you mentioned there, I think when we talk about a modern midfield player, the terminology, is he a 6, is he an 8, is he a 10? You were Brian Robson, you were Steve McMahon for Liverpool, you were Peter Reid for Everton. It was like you had to defend and you had to also get forward. And that's the type of performance we saw today. He was a little bit of everything, doing a defensive job on Cole Palmer, getting into the box, getting a goal, getting a penalty. It was.
Can that go against you though? You know, managers now with the modern game, they want systems.
Yeah.
They want someone in a holding mid. They want a number 8. They want a number 10. At times, because he's good at both, but probably not the best at either. Will that go against him, would you say?
No, I think what we saw him to do today, I'd be very surprised if that wasn't the message from the manager. I want you to get forward. To see him, maybe he'd end up there once, but he was consistently getting forward. As I said, the two. No, you can leave DMs out.
All right, don't bring your CBS chat here.
Guys, chill out, man. What's going
We're
on?
going to let these two settle down. In the meantime, we're going to bring you all the goals very shortly, and we'll be hearing from both managers. As Arne...
Way that your players rose to that challenge.
The most important thing if you want to have a chance of winning a game like this against a very strong Chelsea is that you work so hard as we did. So the way we threw ourselves in front of the ball, first half Curtis, second half Dominic, is also what you need against such a strong team. And in the meantime, we created, I think, a few very good chances, and were, in my opinion at least, but maybe I'm a bit biased, a bit unlucky with some decisions being made.
Okay. Do you want to expand on that? The decisions that you weren't happy with?
Now it's not that important anymore because we won, but I think a crucial which I couldn't understand he did, and I think if the referee looks at it for a minute, it already shows that the VAR shouldn't have interfered. And even in my opinion, if you look at it on a screen, you still feel it's a penalty. But and that's me. And then there was, of course, the decision of the red card, which I saw yesterday was a red card in a similar situation.
But this is right at the start of the match you're going back to now. There were so many little decisions to make, wasn't there?
But nice that these moments are inside the game, because it also creates a lot of energy. The fans really stood up today as well. They helped us a lot, and that probably comes from these decisions as well, because they're just as biased as I am. Is biased, right?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anfield game so far from the fans, also looking at you on the touchline. I think it's your first booking.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, the booking came from the fact that I think there were 3 or 4 decisions that went in our favour. So it was a handball. I don't know if it was, but everybody was screaming for it, so I did as well. Then there was the red card situation. Then there was the penalty situation just afterwards. So there were a few things going against us, and I think sometimes you cannot hold your emotions, and that's what you saw with me as well. He deserved to give me a yellow card, or he should have given me a yellow, which he did. I deserved it. I have to put it like this.
Not often we hear a manager admit that.
Yeah, but this was so clear. This was just as clear as the penalty he should have given the second time.
How good was Curtis Jones today?
Very good. Very good.
You did keep him quiet today. You, Curtis, everyone.
Yeah, it's a team effort, but Curtis was mostly responsible for that. So I think he did that really well, and he added some very important moments to it, because he was he 2 times involved in the penalty also?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And then scoring a goal. So he was on both parts of the pitch, very important for us.
So I think I said this to you before the game. Does a good start now become a great start? You're making this look easy.
I think everybody who saw the game knows that this wasn't easy. And I said it before, Chelsea showed last season, second half of the season, how good of a team they are. Invested even more. So it's for us, it's very, very good that we made a bit of a gap now towards them, because they will be, in my opinion, in the end of the season on...
I think for me, even, Kurt said being at home the day before the game is a different mindset for players, and they can feel more relaxed just being at home sometimes. So I think all in all, the players, of course, are buying into the manager. I think his personality comes across very well, and clearly the players are performing under him. So whatever he's doing behind the scenes is clearly working, and long may it continue for him.
He's not as emotional as Klopp, but he got wrapped up in the game today, didn't he? Basically, that's what I'm talking about, the first sort of Anfield atmosphere he's been involved in. And, Liverpool were under pressure, under the cosh. And you see his reaction, I think, when Nunes maybe got a foul given against him, you could see he just got himself sort of wrapped up and maybe showed little elements there of Jurgen Klopp. But he's a different manager. And I think the thing that Liverpool supporters enjoy, I think, at the moment, is the fact that he's not trying to be something else. Or, he's being himself, and he's made a brilliant start.
It's worked so well, and I think if you'd looked at the fixture list at the start of the season and thought, get to this point, coming up to the start of November, and Liverpool have lost one of their games across all competitions, you'd have taken that, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course. And it's interesting coming into this game. Liverpool and Chelsea to a certain extent. Chelsea played City first game, but since then he's been on a decent run. Liverpool have obviously had a great start to the season, and people say they haven't played anyone. And yeah, that's right. You know, Liverpool have come out on top tonight. But a big thing of being successful is winning the games you're supposed to win. That takes you a long way in a football season. Now, you look at Man City last season, they didn't beat Liverpool or Arsenal, they still won the league because they won the games they were supposed to win. So if you do that, whether you in terms of certainly top four, because I thought Chelsea, I thought they put on a pretty good display here today.
Yeah. And you said, Mike, at the final whistle that this was the game that made you think Liverpool are serious challenges again this season.
They are challenges.
It's always hard to prejudge with a new manager.
I think it's always difficult, and we were sort of looking at systems and what the manager's going to bring. I think he's brought a little bit of calmness. I think defensively, Liverpool look a lot more solid. I think at times under Klopp, which the football he played was amazing to watch. But as a defender, sometimes playing in that system could be exposed a little bit. I think the timing in which the defenders drop back and push up is a lot more balanced. And I think, you know, you've always got players at the top of the pitch who can win your games. So it's what you can do defensively.
Centre forward, it's like we're going to get goals everywhere, and there's many ways to win matches. I don't think today it's more about the system and how can we get into the positions where the conversion percentage is high versus saying, go out there, take two guys on and bang it in the back of the net. Like, those types of goals are rare now because it's more about how do we get the players in positions to be effective.
But in order for Jackson to continue to improve his strike rate, what you're saying is repetition is going to lead to consistency.
Repetition for me. And I think, as I said, I've paying big money, getting a finished article in, and we're seeing world-class players walking out and we're thinking, but the model's changed. The way in which teams are winning games has changed, and I just think if he's given time, he will improve. But I do believe they will sign a striker, though. I do believe that.
I think, I mean, you know better than me, I think when you maybe go back 10, 15 years, we talk about the great strikers of the world, even for sort of like Real Madrid, Barcelona, the Milans, I think the level of strikers dropped, or maybe it's different, and at times that striker's almost got to sacrifice himself for the team. So there's so many teams in the Premier League will say they need a striker, and you say, who? Yeah. They're not there. There's not what we sort of saw maybe 15, 20 years ago, where it felt like every top team had like a world-class striker.
Yeah, it's
systems have changed.
Yeah, systems have changed. It's a different era now. There's more players. Wide strikers, players. There's more false nines. We talked about Havertz earlier on. You know,
even Haaland's being asked to do more off the ball and then to kind of drag
20 to 25 guys that have analysed.
But you know, but I think you just want some in the Premier League. You know, in the past we had strikers who everyone sort of said they're world class. There's very few teams probably in the Premier League, certainly top teams, who feel like their centre forward guy is done and dusted, that they're not quite looking for something else. There's always sort of that little grey area at the moment.
And Harry Kane's gone off to the Bundesliga.
Hat-trick yesterday.
Yeah, talking about spreading the goals out, Curtis Jones. I mean, we talked about what a great performance it was from him. And he managed to cap it all off with the winning goal in this.
Yeah, but it's so poor from Chelsea's point. I think Reece James is really poor here. I mean, you just see him float into that position. He just ambles in there in a way, really.
Is it rustiness, Jamie, from being out for nearly a year?
I don't think it is. I mean, listen, you can see him. He's yards on the side when he's got his hand up at the back post. It's lazy defending. Now, you could give him a little, because of what you said, OK, fair enough, maybe he's a little bit tired. And it is that. I also think the goalkeeper is so poor. To think the goalkeeper is trying to make a challenge 2 yards out from his goal, it's a poor touch from Curtis Jones, really. He's at the full stretch. So Reece James hasn't done great, and this is really poor from the goalkeeper. Chelsea need a goalkeeper if they are going to do what Daniel mentioned in terms of challenging for next season.
Is he maybe thinking, Sanchez, about the penalty that nearly was? In the one that you think should have been a penalty?
Well, yeah, he was involved in that. It was clumsy, wasn't he? He comes flying out, he gets away with one. But that one there, as soon as Curtis Jones makes a poor touch, he's got to be on top of him. He's got to go and win that ball.
Behind me, we're safe as houses.
Yeah,
Reece James
fine,
on the line.
But sometimes in these situations, you have someone who's a little bit deeper. And I think there, if you're not in line with the rest of your teammates, then you have to go with the runner.
Right.
I mean, if you hold that picture there, I mean, we talk about Reece James, sorry. We criticise officials a lot. The official here, if you just watch his actual stance there, because he doesn't want to get ahead of the ball or the last man, and he puts the brakes on. the linesman here to make sure he's in line with Reece James. So this is a brilliant decision from him, and just shows you obviously what goes into it. But Reece James there, I mean, he's like scared of the ball on Curtis Jones, and he's turning his head away. You've got to get there and hopefully it hits you in the face and keep it out. But I mean, we talk about Chelsea and probably
Enzo Maresca to work with going forward. We'll hear what he made of it next. Game between Liverpool and Chelsea. It finished Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1. Let's hear from Enzo Maresca with Patrick Davison.
Well, Enzo, it's defeat, but do you feel like your team have shown something in defeat today? Did you like the performance?
Absolutely. I think probably we deserve something more, but anyway, the performance was good.
Yeah, I mean, listen to your interviews in the week where you said you were going to come here and play like a big team. You wouldn't sit back and counter. Did that particularly please you? Like you played like a big team. You controlled a lot of the football match.
Yeah, I think we controlled most of the game. We had chances, we had possession, and we had possession in their half. Doesn't happen many times that you see Liverpool in their side for a long time. And this is the reason why I said that we don't like to draw points, we don't like to lose, but if we have to choose, probably this is the...
Feel like a big step today, a step forward.
Yeah, but I said before the game, I don't think today's game define where we are. I think today's game, we try to prepare the game in the best way, on the ball and off the ball. I think work quite well, and then sometimes also you have to take the moment, the chance. But overall, I'm very proud of the players.
Tactically, what gave you control? They seem to really struggle to build up, especially in the first half.
Yeah, I think off the ball we were, as we said since we started, we were man-to-man, we were aggressive. The defenders, they were man-to-man against their striker, their attacker, and on the ball I think we just adjust, make some details, some small things. That
true of the result, but maybe not of the performance. Maybe the performance tells us more about where they are.
I thought they were excellent, and when managers come up against each other, they're trying to do something a little bit different to maybe throw the opposition's setup up, and they definitely done that in terms of the position of Gusto starting at left back. Naturally, you think, oh, he's coming in to stop Mo Salah because he's right-footed. Mo Salah likes to come inside on his left foot, but he was almost playing in a number 10 position, similar to Cole Palmer, who was slightly on the other side. So they had 4 men in midfield against Liverpool's 3, and they caused Liverpool real problems. And I said at half-time, Arne Slot's going to have to do something different. I don't think he did, but maybe they got to grips with it a little bit better. But in terms of controlling the game, happened after that. But the thing that Chelsea probably didn't do enough of second half with all the ball he had was create chances. And Kelleher, for the main in the game, I don't think he made too many saves. But in terms of controlling the game and pushing Liverpool back, Liverpool was sort of hanging on at times in the second half and slowing the game down with 2-1 to try and get to the final whistle.
I agree with that, but I think in terms of what Liverpool did to sort of nullify that threat, Cole Palmer, who we talked about before the game, he was at times non-existent. So in terms of the tactical sort of building up with the 3 and then 2 in midfield, the 4, and then Jackson up front, Cole Palmer couldn't really get involved in the game. He was sort of a decoy at times. He was coming into number 6 position just to get on the ball. But in terms of going forward, they didn't manage to get the star player involved in the game.
Yeah, the spaces weren't on that side. In the first half, you saw Lavia picking the ball up and in which they progressed the ball forward.
But when you've got someone like Cole Palmer, he's going to be a big focus of Liverpool before the game. So Curtis Jones is all over that tackling. Maybe at times Andy Robertson's tucking him. So you think how narrow Liverpool were at times. And that meant there was space on the outside. So even though we'll say Cole Palmer wasn't at his best, Liverpool gave up a lot of space out wide. So Sancho in the first half, Madueke as well. Neto, when he came out, had so much time on the ball to run at the fullbacks because Liverpool had to keep it tight in midfield. And the one who was getting the time in midfield, as you mentioned, was Lavia, but also Gusto was picking the ball up. You're not going to leave Cole Palmer in a lot of space, but the fact that he put Gusto there surprised Liverpool, and that's why I said for the main,